I'm Danny, and I am a resource teacher at Balls Bluff Elementary School. I have a learning disability and ADHD, and October is Disability History and Awareness Month.
My name is Joey. I'm a youth leader. My disability is intellectual disability.
My name is Carrie Albers. I'm the orchestra teacher at Farmhouse Station Middle School and Broad Run High School, and I have osteogenesis imperfecta type 1, brittle bone disease.
Hi, I'm Amy Stone. I'm in 11th grade at Broad Run High School, and I have cerebral palsy.
Well, my name is Hope Haynes. I am the art specialist here at Sanders Corner, and I have a physical disability. I was born with just two fingers. Actually, it's a thumb and pinky on my right hand, and that's the way I was born.
So growing up with osteogenesis imperfecta, before I turned 18, I had about 44 fractures. So I spent a lot of time, sometimes on crutches, sometimes in a wheelchair at school. So as a student, I always felt like I needed my friends or needed to help to get from point A to point B. But I was lucky enough to never feel different, just that I needed some help making sure I could safely get from point A to point B.
My disability, I have an intellectual disability, and it's hard for me to memorize stuff. Like, it takes me time to memorize it, and then another thing is, like, when somebody tells me to do something, it's hard. It's like the language is hard for me to put it all in the right order in my brain. So it's hard for me to do that.
And as you can probably imagine, in a wheelchair, trying to get through hallways that are very crowded, it's a little tricky. But I have a trick. And my trick is to leave a couple minutes early from each class.
I have different ways I learn, and I know that, and that's important for me to be able to succeed in life, is to know what my strengths and my weaknesses are. So in order to succeed, I need to know, okay, I'm going to need things written down, and I'm going to need them read to me verbally.
Whether it's physical, whether it's intellectual, whether it's a learning disability, or something that was acquired during your life through injury or illness, or something that you were born with, it's something you have to overcome. And if you're being honest with yourself, you know that. You can't go through life assuming that everything is always going to be as easy as it might be for the 10-fingered people of the world, for example. By being the way that I am, I can either sort of walk away from those opportunities and sort of hide in a little shell and kind of just do what I know how to do, or I can make an effort to achieve in my job or in my creative world, and also educate people about living with a disability.
I'm hoping Disability History and Awareness Month will accomplish lots of things. But as a student with a disability, I think one of the things that I struggle with, and a lot of people and youth with disabilities have struggled with, is the ignorance towards people with disabilities, and they are not educated in what a disability is and what it means to have a disability, and there's all sorts of other labels and other stigma that is given to people with disabilities.
One of the biggest things about how people can help me is just asking if I can use their help. Don't ever be afraid of asking someone in a wheelchair or with any kind of disability if they need help, because we will not feel bad. Actually, it helps us out a lot.
I don't want people to watch their P's and Q's around me any more than they would around anybody else in the world, I think it's just a matter of doing things that you would do for anybody, like holding a door open. If you see me walking down the hall with a big box, hold the door open for me. Or you know, ask me if I need a hand, but I don't always. So.
Another important thing that I think is good for people to understand and know about is that people they're people first. They're not their disability. They're not labeled, that's not who they are. You wouldn't just sit there and call somebody by their label, just by their disability first. I am a student with a learning disability. I am Danny Fortney with a learning disability and ADHD. I am not learning disabled Danny.
A lot of the times when I tell my students about my condition, I'll say, well, my fourth finger is held together by metal. So your fourth finger's out of tune. If I can do it, there's something we can figure out that's gonna work for you. And I'm happy to show that sometimes it's a weakness, and I'm happy to show them my weakness because they have their own. Whether it's just something new or misunderstanding, not even a disability. So I'm happy to share that, okay, my finger doesn't even work right. So if I can do it, what are we gonna do to get you through this? And they'll laugh about it and they'll be like, is there really something wrong with you? And I'm happy to take the opportunity to tell them, yeah, and there's other people that have it. It's pretty rare, but you may meet somebody someday that has it or is in a wheelchair that has the same condition. So I'm happy to share it with them and see what they can take from it.
So, and I was actually really nervous to be a teacher myself because I have learning disability and I have ADHD. Was I going to be able to spell at the chalkboard? Was I going to be able to provide them with reading instruction when I struggle with reading myself? Was I going to be able to do all these things that I struggled with these students? But as I went through the classes, I was feeling more confident with my ability to help the kids teach. And I think it's even better when I get the kids and they're like, how do you spell this word? And I'm like, well, that's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. Let's go together and we'll look it up in the dictionary, or we'll use the tools. What kind of tools can we use to find out how we can spell this? So I'm providing them with the tools that I use, and they're learning how that not everybody is able to spell everything, and it's more of a natural process. So I think it's actually been a really good tool for them and for me to be able to work together like that.
I enjoy working with people that have disability, because they don't have the same disability as me, like disability. So I like to help them out and all that kind of stuff. The youth leadership forum, it was a good experience for me. So when later down the road, so I can become more of a leader, and so I could go out in the community and help out the community and volunteering work and just step up and take initiative and being a leader and all that.
One of the ways that I'm hoping to use drama is opening people's eyes to what people with special needs can do. The truth is, no matter who you are or what it takes to fight, we all live under the same sky.